All right. So, one of the things that I need to really teach you about that really isn't covered in your textbook is the economic system of mercantilism. So, what I'm going to do though is show you not only what that is, but kind of where things end up going. Okay. So, we have, when it comes to state economic systems or the ways that states and nations try to make money, from 1450 to 1750, the system being used is mercantilism, and the idea of what's coming next is going to be capitalism. Once we get to the next era, capitalism is going to be the primary economic system states use, and the concept of socialism is going to be um, is going to be a natural response to capitalism. So once we get to the last era, which we'll talk about, which starts in about 1919, is going to be capitalism and socialism are the primary ways. And again, we're just trying to figure out what the next thing that might be our next economic system. It could be like progressivism, like the Social Democrats are talking about. I've also heard of like the cooperative economy. So as of now, this is still what we're dealing with: is capitalism and socialism. And now, really, is there a way to kind of blend the two? But we're going to focus right here on mercantilism because that's the one you probably know the least about. So, mercantilism is all about the merchants. And basically, the idea is that a mother country needs to have as many colonies as they can to get gold and silver, to get natural resources and other raw materials. Okay, this is going to be kind of the guiding policy from about 1500s to the 1700s. So, as these European countries race around the globe to create colonies, and so it's the idea that a country becomes rich and powerful by collecting as much gold and silver as possible, which makes sense just on the outskirts, not completely, but at first glance it makes a lot of sense. So how do I do that? How do I get this favorable balance of trade? How do I get as much gold and silver as possible? Well, you have as many colonies as you can, and those colonies provide the natural resources the mother country needs to produce goods or increase the riches. And the other thing is to have a favorable balance of trade, which means you export, you sell more than you import. Because if you export your goods, you ask for gold in return. And when someone sells something to you, when you import something, they ask for some of that gold back. So the idea is you want as much gold or silver in your country. And so most countries to try to do that are going to put tariffs on foreign goods to try to protect local industries, making that there's less imports. The idea of tariffs is in many ways very outmoded now today. But at the time, um, when you're talking about the need of building up your national reserves, that's one way to do it. So here's another way to look at it. So again, the European view: you need as much gold and silver as possible. You need to have more exports. You need to sell things to more countries than you're taking in. And you also need to have this set up with your colonies where they're providing you raw materials, and then you're selling manufactured goods back to the colonies and to your other rivals. So part of this is the Manila galleons, as we see. So the Spaniards set this up. So again, they get gold or silver, especially silver here. They take it here. They sell some of that gold and silver, but they get stuff back, and then the ships go back up and back around. Okay, so this is going to be very important. Silver trade is a huge part of mercantilism. Another part of it is going to be triangular trade, how we're going to have a Europe who's going to sell manufactured goods and luxuries to the Americas and to Africa. As they sell that there, from Africa, they're going to get gold, ivory, spices, and hardwoods back to Europe, but also they're going to get slaves to the Americas. The Americas is going to help to harvest the natural resources, and then those natural resources from are going to go from the Americas to Britain. So this is the triangle of triangular trade. And so during this time period, from period 4, we're going to have this is going to be kind of the natural flow of goods as well. As you can see, how Asia, Africa, and the Americas and Europe all deal with each other. And that is an overview of mercantilism.